My name is Brent Rendell. I farm in northeast Oklahoma, just outside of a town called Miami. Raise a wide variety of crops, winter wheat, winter canola, corn, grain sorghum, and soybeans, both single crop and double crop, and occasionally sunflowers. Right now, the winter wheat is about 3 weeks away from harvest, and I use a rather unique fertility program. One of the standouts that we've always relied on are soil tests, and I use soil tests. Every field gets tested at least every 3 years, and for P and K, that still is the gold standard for what I'm going to apply. But when it comes to nitrogen, if you look at the nitrogen process, there's so many things that can affect it. The previous crop, how good or bad it was, what the previous crop was, how fast its residue breaks down, what form of nitrogen was put on in the past, how much rainfall did I get or didn't get. And that's at planting, after the nitrogen was applied, and right now. There are so many ways nitrogen can move in and around and out of the soil that it really is, as a soil test, that tells me what the nitrogen was in that part of the soil profile that day. So really, I've gone to a different system for my nitrogen, and the Green Seeker, which is an active sensor, is at the heart of what I do. And really, it's a simple approach. I put out a base level of nitrogen when I plant the crop, and then in one strip in the field, I'll put a more than adequate strip of nitrogen. It'll typically be something on the order of 100 to 120 extra pounds of nitrogen in that one strip. The goal being that one strip never needs any nitrogen. And so I have one known place in the field that doesn't need any nitrogen. Then after the crop is grown up in the winter time and it's coming into spring, ready to put on a shot of top dress nitrogen, I come back in and I use a sensor like this, or I can even use my own eyes. Look at that strip, look at the field beside it, and see what the difference is between them. And a lot of universities have customized the methods for using this sensor and other sensors to take those normalized differential vegetative index numbers, NDVIs, and use those to tailor, based on where that crop is at that growth stage, how much nitrogen I need to apply to the rest of the field to match that one strip that I know has plenty of nitrogen. Some years I will have 0 nitrogen in some fields. Some years I'll have 100 pounds of nitrogen needed. The old thumb rules, if you look at them, were designed over a series of years. They were designed to be right about half of the time. But as it turns out, they're really only right about 1/3 of the time. 1/3 of the time, they put on too much nitrogen. You say, well, that's not a problem. That nitrogen will be available later. Well, my question is, will it be available later? And in a year like this, where I've had plenty of rainfall in the spring, no, any excess nitrogen is going to be gone by next year. So we've established that 1/3 of the time, a thumb rule is right. 1/3 of the time it put on too much, and at 1/3 of the time it didn't put on enough, so I didn't get enough wheat out of the crop. 2/3 of the time I have wasted money. 1/3 of the time I got it right. I could flip a coin and be right half of the time. So using a soil test to predict nitrogen and thumb rules will be wrong twice as often as it is right. So I tried to come up with a system that would, or find a system that would work more often than that. And with an optical based sensor system, whether it be the Green Seeker or any of the other systems that are out there, in wheat and in corn, in any crop that's going to be asking for nitrogen to be applied, you're going to be so far ahead by using a sensor system. By my calculations, and I have done side-by-side tests over the years, I have found my average return is an extra $10 to $15 per acre profit per year on wheat. And in corn, it starts at around 15 and can get up into the $20 or $25 an acre, depending on the price of your nitrogen. So for a $500 hand sensor and about 30 minutes of my time per field, I can return $15 to $20 an acre.